Prima Media's Polity, I'm Sane Dlamini. Political analyst Ralph Mathekga joins me to discuss 2019 elections with a special focus on smaller parties. Welcome, Mr. Mathekga.
Thanks for having me.
So we've seen COPE and the UDM representing themselves well in Parliament over the past few years. Do you think that they are likely to grow their support?
I mean, it's going to be very difficult for the normal 2%ers. I refer to them as 2%ers. I mean, COPE, UDM, 2%, 1% there. These are the parties that have not been able to demonstrate growth. COPE literally imploded. I mean, from having in the range of 7% above to where they are now. The previous elections, I mean, 2014 elections, they came out very, very badly, that is COPE. And they did very well in 2009, which was their maiden election, where they demonstrated that actually there is a good space for a new splinter party to go towards the double digit, but they don't grow. And you have more competition actually now. You've got new different parties that are very exciting. I want to say exciting, very unconventional, very controversial. Some are so directly linked to the church, and some are very directly linked to the trade unions in a manner that we have not seen before. And those are the parties that certainly are going to push out the likes of UDM and the likes of Ahang. I mean, I know the MP there, Mr. Andries Klowama, is a lone ranger there in Parliament, pushed through interesting legislation, went to court on issues relating to removal of Mr. Zuma from office. All of those impeachment, Klowama, but where's the future? I mean, is he going to be back? Chances are that a lot of those will have to find a way to be absorbed in other political parties, you know, because the message is the same, anti-corruption.
Yeah, talking about the new kids on the block, we have the African Transformation Movement now. They recently garnered 30% in the Eastern Cape by-elections in a place that was known to be an ANC stronghold. Do you think that they will perform well at the polls? Well,
30%, it's not an easy achievement. It's very serious. I mean, 30% for the party that only exists. Because the best thing we know about them is that they exist.
Exactly.
We don't yet fully know what they stand for. They've been throwing statements all around. They've not even been tested whatsoever. And already they're participating there and they're getting 30%. Either something went horribly wrong there or we're up for a big, big miracle. 30%, it means that if you were to take that to national level, even if they get half of that, 15% at national level, it's a great achievement. It will mean they will displace the likes of EFF and so forth. But what are we looking at here? We're looking at a very strange concoction of evangelical leaders with the church. And when we talk about the church and politics, we should not forget the church has money. And they can put their funding towards this political movement. And the church has got access to people. So if you start creating that direct connection between the church and political parties, you are going to start seeing even the governing party being worried about regulation of the churches because they are a political competition. They are very powerful, so watch out for that party. 30%, it's a big, big show. And I think that people need to be looking clearly as to what is likely to happen there. And especially that you do that in Eastern Cape, the home of the ANC, if you like, very strange.
Yeah. Former ADEC leader Makosi Khoza recently went back to ADEC. And then we've seen former ANC member Fakey Mentor joining the ACDP. Where do you think their political career is going?
Clearly, they're finding it very difficult to craft a political career after the ANC. I mean, the ANC is a big party, over 100 years old party. You leave that party where you have placed your entire political pension, if you like. Your credibility and everything else have been invested in that party. That's why you end up fumbling. And that's why, because of how overwhelming the ANC is, I mean, it is the party whose history is being told, and it continues to make history as the history is being told. It's the oldest liberation movement. And when you leave a party such as that, you don't easily settle down. People will go into the NGO sector. They go to parties, they realize that, oh my God, I'm part of a small party here that does not even get the headlines. When the ANC sneezes, hey, everybody wants to hear what's going on. So the psychology of being away from the ANC, it must be taxing on those people. But I believe there is a great deal of work they can do here in South Africa. I mean, the NGO sector and so forth. And I believe if they were sincerely about serving the people, it shouldn't matter where they are serving from, whether from the heights of power or from within the people. It's still the service that is required, is what matters.
I'm also tempted to ask about the COPE leader, Musiwa Lekota, because he left the ANC. Now, we've seen him working closely with AfriForum. Where is that going?
I found it the most strange combination of political agendas I could have thought about. I mean, AfriForum and Musiwa Lekota, we see pictures of Musiwa Lekota hunting. Yes, people hunt, that's fine. But suddenly he's defending AfriForum. He has been very strange. I just don't know whether is this how political life winds down. Comes across and say President Ramaphosa was a spy, those kind of things. Very, very strange things. I just don't know how the agenda. I don't know who would be, who from the side where AfriForum is positioned, who will be voting for Lekota. Why can't you put that vote at Freedom Front Plus, if you like, for that matter, because that's where it will be better protected, rather than a dying party such as COPE. I mean, I just don't see this working for Mr. Lekota, but it comes across as very desperate.
What is your opinion on the likely performance of the good leader, Patricia de Lille?
Again, I mean, look, it's expensive to run a party. It's exciting to form a party. You got the headlines, week and so forth, but it's very expensive to run a political party. You need the infrastructure. The DA is a big party. They've been doing elections over and over from their original format as whatever they were in the past. They know the art of opposition and so forth. And you don't easily dent the political base of such a party easily. So Patricia fine, a few angry votes here and there. Look, this is the thing with the PR system, proportional representation system. The bar is very, very low to get a seat in parliament. She might get a seat in parliament, but I don't think she will be of great worry to the DA. It comes down to money. How many posters can you actually put out there? How many rallies can you really have out there? And, you know, your volunteers, how many can you actually inspire to be able to be working for you? It's very expensive running a campaign.
And what did you think of the Good Party launching its manifesto via social media?
It was a very creative thing for them to do. I mean, it's a big risk because, you know, in South Africa, you can hear a sentiment about a party on social media. It's not always a reflection of the reality. So I still think social media is still lagging behind a little bit as a trusted platform when it comes to conveying political information. It has a lot to do with inequitable access. Majority of poor people out there in rural areas still don't have ready access to these things, although you are seeing it among younger people in the outskirts, but we are still not there yet. So I thought Patricia de Lille's party trying that quite cost effective, a very interesting risk to take. Probably we're going to see more of that happening in the future from other political parties.
IFP seems to be consolidating its position as the NFP is losing support. Do you think that the IFP will grow votes?
Well, you see, the NFP preyed a lot on disgruntled IFP supporters and some who actually were disgruntled even from the ANC. It is so sad. I remember when the NFP failed, I think it was around the local government election, just failed to comply with the logistical issue there and end up not participating in the elections. And the leader sadly was sick, and it shows that the leadership within the party was not strong enough to shoulder the responsibility during the difficult times Ms. Magwaza Msibi was experiencing in relation to health. It's so sad to see the party that is just imploding on its own, the NFP, and the IFP is on the rise because with the divisions within the ANC in KZN. Remember, one of the things that President Jacob Zuma is credited for within the ANC is actually breaking the bone of the IFP. You know, the ANC grew significantly while he was the president. Even the membership, I remember being announced, it KZN was carrying a lot of growth of ANC membership thereof. But now the ANC, it's divided in KZN. You have got even these ATM parties got the base there as well. And you know, the ANC is having a difficult time there, and it's quite, the IFP seems to be on the mend just because of that, not because it has made any changes in its leadership, not because the IFP is promising something. Again, it's just cultivating commotion of disgruntled voters because the ANC is having internal difficulties. That is the basis of growth there. It's so sad that it's not based on the issues or anything. It is just commotion where parties are exchanging membership, but the society is still standing where it is. There isn't significant progress.
And then what do you think about the IFP leader still in power?
Yeah, you know, I believe in, I even have a problem with the leader of Rwanda to start with, Paul Kagame, let alone Mr. Buthelezi, Dr. Buthelezi, who has been at the helm of IFP for so many years, and his argument is that they want me to continue. That's a classical dictatorial retort that we always have on this thing. People saying that, oh, the people love me so much they cannot imagine leadership after me. What are you doing yourself? Are you helping these young people to consider another different types of leadership while you are still around? Or are you reluctantly also feeding this idea that you are the best that could have happened to this political party? It is so sad that, you know, I mean, at some point he contradicted himself. Dr. Buthelezi coming out talking about how great things used to be during the homelands. Ironically, it's like, yeah, this is just an indication. You are bringing the two worlds that should not be brought together, you know. Mr. President, maybe you need to step aside. But it seems that's not the thinking there.
And lastly, there is a perception that people should not waste their votes on the smaller parties. How do you view this argument?
I mean, most likely it is said by the bigger parties that are seeking to blackmail voters. They should campaign honestly. You can't just say to people that you are the right destination for people to waste your vote. They'll rather waste it on you instead of wasting it on smaller parties. Political parties need to be also responding to the question, are they packaging themselves in a manner that they are attractive before they can resort to emotional blackmailing of saying, don't waste it on this, waste it on that. It is so sad that now they are just asking voters the better place to waste the vote, you know, come to me. It shows the inefficiencies of the political system, that it's not providing enough options. I mean, we have 48 political parties here, which should be 48 choices. But it's 48 choices without more than 2 options. You know, options are very close at these parties in terms of their options and lack of creativity and resuscitation of old policies and lack of excitement and just being ideological at times. I'm not saying our problems are not ideological, like inequality and historical, but excite in your solutions, excite younger people before you blackmail them.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
That was political analyst Ralph Mathekga speaking to Creamer Media's Polity about 2019 elections.